Admiral Zektar's mandibles clicked in amusement as the human vessel appeared on the tactical display. The Defiance, they called it, a crude assemblage of metal and ceramic that looked more like a spaceborne junkyard than a warship. Its hull bore the scars of countless welds, its mismatched armor plating gleaming dull gray against the starfield. This is what the humans send to challenge the hegemony? Zektar's second-in-command, Commander Voss, couldn't contain his laughter. A single ship against our entire battle fleet? The bridge of the hegemony flagship Eternal Dominion buzzed with similar derision. 3,000 vessels strong, the fleet represented the combined military might of 47 species that had sworn allegiance to the galactic hegemony. Each ship was a masterwork of engineering, sleek, efficient, and deadly. "Sir," the communications officer reported, "the human vessel is transmitting." "Put it through," Zektar ordered, eager to hear the humans' inevitable surrender. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a weathered human female in a simple blue uniform. Captain Sarah Chen's dark eyes held no fear, only grim determination. "This is Captain Chen of the UES Defiance. By order of the United Earth Government, you are commanded to withdraw from the Kepler 442 system immediately. This star system is under human protection." The bridge erupted in laughter. Zektar's 4 eyes glittered with malice. "Human, you face the greatest armada ever assembled. Your pathetic world has been marked for subjugation. Surrender now, and your death will be swift." Chen's expression didn't change. "Counteroffer. Leave now, and you might survive what's coming." The transmission ended. "Insolent mammals," Zektar snarled. "Target their vessel. Prepare to—" "Sir!" The sensor operator's voice cracked with alarm. "I'm detecting massive energy." Readings from the human ship. Something's wrong with our sensors." The Defiance began to change. What had appeared to be a single vessel started separating, revealing its true nature. Massive sections of the hull detached and reformed, expanding outward like a mechanical flower blooming in space. Hidden weapon ports emerged from concealed bays. The ship that had seemed barely combat-worthy moments before revealed itself to be a fortress bristling with armaments. "Modular construction," Zektar breathed, understanding flooding through him. They built it to look like debris. But that wasn't the most shocking revelation. "Sir," the sensor operator whispered. "I'm reading multiple fusion signatures inside their ship. They're not using antimatter cores like us, they're using something else." Captain Chen's voice echoed across all frequencies, reaching every ship in the hegemony fleet. "You want to know what makes humans different? We don't just adapt. We improvise. While you perfected your technology over millennia, we learned to make do with whatever we had. You see weakness in our crude methods. We see possibility." The Defiance opened fire. The first salvo wasn't energy beams or plasma bolts, like the hegemony expected. Instead, streams of what appeared to be metallic fragments shot out at relativistic speeds. Railgun rounds, primitive by galactic standards, but accelerated to such velocities that they punched through the energy shields of the frontline vessels as if they weren't there. "Impossible," Voss stammered. "Their weapons are pre-industrial." "Return fire," Zektar roared. The concentrated firepower of 3,000 ships converged on the human vessel. Energy beams that could vaporize asteroids struck the Defiance's hull and dispersed. The ship's armor wasn't just metal, it was layered with some kind of ablative material that absorbed and scattered the incoming energy. "Titanium carbide. Composite with aerogel insulation," Chen's voice continued, almost conversational. "We learned about it making heat shields for atmospheric entry. Turns out it works pretty well against directed energy weapons, too." Another volley of railgun rounds tore through the hegemony ranks. Ships that had ruled space lanes for centuries cracked open like eggs. But the humans weren't done. The Defiance launched what looked like small pods. Hundreds of them. The hegemony fleet's point defense systems easily destroyed most, but some got through. When they impacted enemy hulls, they didn't explode. Instead, they attached and began cutting through the armor with industrial-grade plasma torches. Mining equipment, Chen explained as chaos spread through the hegemony ranks. We've been cutting through rock for centuries. Starship hulls aren't much different. Admiral Zektar watched in horror as his magnificent fleet was systematically dismantled by what amounted to repurposed industrial tools. The humans hadn't tried to match hegemony technology. They'd ignored it entirely, using principles so basic that the advanced civilizations had forgotten them. How? He whispered. As if hearing him, Chen answered, Because we learned to fight in gravity wells, Admiral. We learned to build with limited resources. We learned that the best weapon isn't always the most advanced one. It's the one your enemy doesn't expect. The battle lasted less than an hour. Of the 3,000 ships that had entered the Kepler 442 system, fewer than 100 limped away into hyperspace. The rest drifted as debris, victims of human ingenuity and the arrogance of assumed technological superiority. Captain Chen stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching the tactical display clear of hostile contacts. Her chief engineer, a grizzled veteran named Martinez, joined her at the viewport. Think they'll be back? He asked. Chen smiled grimly. Eventually, but next time they'll know what they're facing. And what's that? A species that spent 10,000 years turning farming tools into weapons and waste products into resources. A species that learned to thrive by making the impossible possible with whatever was lying around. The Defiance began its transformation, back to its compact configuration, ready to jump to the next system that needed protection. In the distance, the colony ships of Kepler 442b began their descent to the planet's surface, carrying the first human settlers to a world that was now truly safe. The galaxy had learned an important lesson that day. Never underestimate a species that had spent millennia proving that the best solution isn't always the most elegant one. Sometimes, it's just the one that works.